Okay.
on the morning stream.
Okay.
All right, here
You
comes.
said you hit up Dunway. Did you also mention Nicole?
I have not talked to Nicole, so I don't know her deal.
I'll send her a quick little howdly hodly.
Yeah, to see how she's doing.
She's the only one who tends to forget what day it is because she's got other things in life going on that.
Her life things are overwhelming.
Many life things.
It's overwhelming. Do I have that clip? Hold on.
Overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. I love that one. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, there it is. I like this one.
Oh, yeah, and it's I do overwhelming. Have 2 recommendals.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, I got them both.
No, I'm sorry, Andrew. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming.
The Monkey King was overwhelmed by doubt.
Oh, it's not the same.
No.
All right.
The Monkey King was overwhelmed with doubt.
Overwhelmed. All right, here we go. Time to shine. It is the recording. Yes, it is. Okay, here we go. Thanks everybody for being here. Enjoy this as it happens in 3, 2, 1.
In all my years with Westinghouse, I've covered some pretty interesting stories. But here is truly the most wonderful and exciting thing I've ever had the chance to talk about.
We just got in these new Puss in Boots flavor packs.
I don't care. This is the morning stream.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to TMS. It's Wednesday, May 27th, 2020. How did I do that? I got the 2020 down. Why did I say 2019?
Yeah, we're well into 2020, Scott. There should be no more messing this up.
Yeah, there's no confusion about what year this is. There's only one 19. The only 19 in my life is the COVID-19. Everything else is 20.
Hardcastle 19?
No. Hey, had they discovered that next year or this year it would be COVID-20. And if it was the year after that, it'd be COVID-21.
What? Are you telling me that it's not the 19th iteration of COVID?
No.
We should have known what to do by now because we've had 18 COVIDs before this.
Oh, Brian, you should stop watching that Fox News. You got to stop watching it. Hey, it's good to be here, everybody. Good to be here. We have a lot to do today. It's a Wednesday. It means guests and stuff and things and a little competition thrown in there. I want to start today off with a small correction.
Okay.
Nothing major, just a little tiny correction from our friend.
Okay.
Our friend Jeff Sire in Ontario, Canada. He now lives in Grafton, just moved a little bit ago. Bronco says this, just a point on terminology. When you were talking about that scammer John Edward yesterday, you correctly referred to him as a psychic. However, after that, you referred to other psychics like Kreskin. Kreskin is not a psychic. He is a mentalist. Is there a difference? Anyway.
I think the correct term is hack. I think that's the term that we should be using.
Yeah, hack, scammer, grifter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Stage liar.
Yeah, stage liar, professional stage liar. Anyway, the main difference is that a mentalist will tell the audience what they are doing. What they are doing is tricks. Mentalism is a subset of magic. The Amazing Randy is a mentalist/magician who debunks psychics. Penn and Teller also include elements of mentalism in their shows. Penn contrasts himself to psychics by saying he is an honest fraud, says Jeff Sire.
That's a good point. With with all of the Penn and Teller Fool Us that I've watched, and they're talking about mentalists and psychics, and especially Penn's love of hate, like he loves to hate mentalists.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though he does it himself and he fully says, yeah, this is bogus, what I'm doing is bogus, but here's how I do it and all that.
Yeah.
I should have recognized that, but
sure. Well, it's I'm in the crowd of saying yes, it's an honest job as a magician who does stuff to entertain people, right?
Yeah.
Somebody who gets up though and says, I'm gonna heal your bum, or whatever whatever it is they do.
Wait, now you're talking about a faith healer.
Yeah, now I'm crossing
faith
over.
Bum healer, specifically.
Faith bum healing.
A rectal faith healer.
There you go. Those are the guys. But yeah, like they're telling you they're doing something otherworldly,
Yes.
literally, and then you're meant to believe it and pay more for it, and yeah.
If you have not seen, I know you've seen it, Scott, but if you have not seen the great Steve Martin movie, the name of which is escaping me, it is something of light, not Ray of Light, but it's
No.
yeah, that's not it. What's where he's a faith healer? Leap of Faith. Thanks. There's no word
Faith.
light in there at all.
Right.
If you have not seen Leap of Faith with Steve Martin, such a great movie. Meatloaf, and is Deborah Winger the love interest in that?
Yeah.
Oh no,
it is Deborah
it?
Winger. Yeah, she plays Jane.
It's Deborah Winger.
Liam Neeson's in this thing.
Liam Neeson, yes.
MC Gainey.
I'm gonna expose that faith healer because I've got a certain set of skills.
He's got skills to unmask him. MC
Yeah, that
Gainey's
is
in it. He's cool. I like
such a
MC Gainey.
great movie.
I have seen it, but it's been so long. I don't even know what to think of it. I should
Oh,
probably-
really?
Yeah, it's been forever.
It's time to delve back in. I wonder if it's streaming anywhere.
1991 was it? Wow.
Yeah, it is. It's stream. Oh no, I'll take that back. It's.
Do you know that Steve Martin was born in Waco, Texas? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
That's crazy. Also, did you know that
it
he
is
doesn't?
not streaming?
He needs to do more movies. I don't know what happened there because he kind of
does?
stopped. Steve Martin. He sort of stopped.
Oh,
Uh,
he's really focused more on his banjoing concert and touring with Martin Short, which by all accounts is a really funny show.
It is. They have it on Netflix. It's very funny.
Oh, they do. Okay, yeah,
you should watch.
check that
You
out.
should watch that. It's very good. I think I recommended it. I may have.
You
But
may
yeah, I don't think it's been since. Yeah, it's been since Pink Panther 2 in 2009 that he did anything.
No way, that was his last movie. His
Yeah.
last scripted. Jeez.
Yeah, done a bunch of TV stuff since, but some short thing this
Wow.
year called Cruel Shoes, but I don't know what that is.
Well, one of his first albums was Cruel Shoes. So I wonder if it was if that's a documentary about the album, because that was like in the 70s. Around the
Maybe.
Wild and Crazy Guy days was Cruel Shoes.
Doesn't give a lot of info. It just says cast Steve Martin. It's only him. Director Kevin Peterson. Writer Steve Martin. Star Steve Martin. A woman goes to a shoe store to try the cruel shoes. That's it.
Is it a short or is it
says
a
it's
full-on movie?
It says it's a short. So it's
Okay.
animated too. Interesting.
Okay, all right. So it's probably based on his comedy.
Okay.
Because he also Shop Girl was his, and
Yeah.
I read the book. I don't think I saw. Wasn't there? There was a movie based on that, right?
Yeah, Shop Girl 2005. He was
Yeah.
in. Let's see. Yeah, he just kind of stopped doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of bums me out just slightly. I loved Bowfinger. Remember that? 1999. Oh man.
Oh, it was great.
Bowfinger
So
was
good.
a great movie.
I mean, even some of his bad movies were good because he was in them.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
Like
I agree. Like Three Amigos is not a great movie. I have fond feelings for it because it's stupid and dumb and part of my childhood or part of my teenage years. But it's better because he's in it.
yeah.
The Jerk does not hold up as well as you think it does.
Oh, God, you're killing me with these choices. Like, why not All of Me or Pennies from Heaven or The Man with Two Brains?
You could do that.
The Jerk is great.
You could do that. I'm just looking at writing. I should look at actor because maybe he's been in more stuff and I don't know it because the actor list is longer.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, one of the greatest comedies of all time.
Oh, I take it back. Okay, that was the last thing he wrote was that Pink Panther movie in a film form. He's been in other stuff. So he's in something called Norm. Billy Lynn's... No, I'm sorry. His name is Norm. Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk in 2016. Don't know what that is. What is that?
That was I want to say that was like a patriotic movie about a
Oh, I remember
like a
this.
soldier coming back from the war, but it's told in flashback or something.
Yeah, it's Ang Lee did it. The 19-year-old Billy Lynn brought home from a victory tour after a harrowing Iraqi battle. Throughout flashbacks, the film shows what really happened to his squad, contrasting the realities of war with American perceptions.
One of the greatest Steve Martin comedies of all time.
Really, it was a hoot. It was just a hoot. Just a long-running hoot.
Laugh a minute, that one.
Speaking of movies, I didn't get it yet, but HBO Max, I guess, is out. That's a thing now?
It's out, and you've already got it. They updated the app, so not a new app if you've already got the HBO Now app.
Interesting. They just kept it. That's crazy.
You just kept it. You just download an update and you're already there, which is good because you've already logged in. You don't have to do anything more. It's like, all right, this is instantaneous.
There it is. Yeah, weird. I didn't know they were going to
But
do
here's
that.
the deal.
Yeah.
I got in there first thing, and I'm looking. It's like, all the Harry Potter movies are in there. All of the episodes of Friends are in there. Studio Ghibli is going to be in there too. Like, you'll be able to stream all of the Miyazaki stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'll swap over to the DC side of things, and Doom Patrol is the only of their modern DCU series that they've got over here now. No Titans, which is weird because Doom Patrol is kind of a spin-off of Titans.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing is not in there.
Yeah, why? Why is that? What's that about?
The Harley Quinn animated series that people are raving about are not in there yet. So it's coming. I looked online. I found a Collider article about it, and it's just basically they don't have. It's funny. There's not really an answer as much as there's a we're trying to work it out to get it over there, but HBO. Let's see.
They own it.
I know. It's about prices. So reading between the lines, it seemed like Doom Patrol, a pseudo spin-off of another DCU series, Titans, was too expensive to have a second season produced exclusively for DCU, but if they split the cost and double the show's exposure, they could justify production.
Okay.
So having it on HBO Max kind of gets them more money to produce it.
Okay. Interesting.
Other pricey DCU series like Swamp Thing were shuttered after a single season. And while it may seem like the discussion of what content will travel back and forth is ongoing, an HBO Max representative reached out to Business Insider to say that, quote, there were no plans for any other DCU shows, which is a big bummer for those of us looking to watch uncut episodes of Harley Quinn and then probably...
Boo.
Yeah, exactly.
Boo, I say to that.
I say boo as well because I hear that Titans is great.
Here's what's funny. They've got
There's a couple episodes of it.
right next to each other in the featured series. They have The Wire and The OC. Boy, that's a juxtaposition if I've ever seen one.
If you like The Wire, you're gonna love The OC.
Yeah. Also, it just seems a little thin, doesn't it? A little thin, this app. There's not much here. Like, where's the category? Oh, there we go. There's a whole.
Yeah,
okay.
It feels pretty robust to me, but it just happens that I've seen a lot of this stuff. But
Yeah.
I mean, Rick and Morty is on here now.
And they got
every Doctor Who.
and they still got the movies, right? That's the
I
thing.
guess every Doctor Who from the Eccleston season is on here.
Okay. All right.
Actually, yeah, because there's Whittaker.
They got Friends, so hey everybody.
Oh, every Friends right there.
Yeah, all the
Westworld,
Friends.
obviously, all the HBO stuff, of course.
Yeah. I'm surprised they got the Friends thing. I thought NBC Universal was getting that for their NBC Peacock app.
For
that's coming.
Peacock?
Yeah.
No, this was the big thing that they said, hey, we wanna buy this. We'll have to check out the Looney Tunes cartoons and see how they hold up.
Yeah. If they're old ones or are they new ones, the Looney Tunes?
I think these are the new ones, aren't they? Or these are the new ones they're producing? Or no, this is the...
Well, what I hope they do is put the old stuff in here too.
Yeah.
Looney Tunes.
Yeah, brand new episodes of the iconic cartoon series. So these are the new ones in here now.
Oh my gosh.
And
they have
looking
the
at
old
the
ones, too.
animation, it looks classic. It does not look modernized.
They have the old ones too.
Good.
They have what they say here is 31 seasons, even though it's not really
wow.
seasons, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's great. My daughter's gonna flip out. All right.
No kidding.
Well, now it's all as well. I got all the Looney Tunes I can eat. It's good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Yes, The Leftovers is on there. All the HBO stuff moved over. It looks like.
Yeah.
None of that changed.
Curb Your Enthusiasm, Watchmen,
Yeah. It's
True
all there.
Detective, the good and bad seasons.
Yeah.
Barry.
Westworld, the good and bad episodes.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's all there for you, everybody. And that.
And all the Studio Ghibli stuff is already up there. So
all of it.
like 21 Miyazaki movies.
Even the little fish one, Ponyo.
Ponyo,
I got the moving castle business. That's in there.
Howl's Moving Castle is
Yeah.
on there.
They got the
Neighbor
one
Totoro,
where-
Spirited Away, my favorite one, Spirited Away.
Do they have the one where you, Spirited Away? That's the one where the guy eats furniture, and throws it up later.
Face.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right. Well, you've sold me, Brian. Well done.
There you go. Go watch all that stuff. It's all there for you. Enjoy.
Hopefully DC stuff comes over quicker. And also,
God, I hope so.
How about the animated stuff? I know we're talking about DCU.
Oh yeah, the animated stuff is all there.
It is there.
Well, I mean, yeah, the for the most, I should say,
Batman.
I saw lots of animated stuff in here. So like the that recent Dark Teen Titans Judas Contract is there.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, this is chocked full of this stuff. Okay.
Yeah, no shortage of.
I searched for Batman, and it gave me a whole bunch of Batman, and in the middle of them, it gave me Cold Pursuit with Liam Neeson, and then a whole bunch of Batman again. What's that about?
Well, he's he trained Batman, and
I still don't know what I did there to get that. All right, well, whatever. Also, Grosse Point Blank is on HBO. Everybody stop what you're doing and watch Grosse Point Blank. Okay.
Yeah, Cold Pursuit is basically a Ra's al Ghul origin story about.
I don't know if people knew that.
Living in Canada.
Yeah.
As a snowplow operator.
Were you guys not aware of that? Because we knew that. Brian and I knew that.
Yeah, we knew that. Jeez. I mean, how'd you not know that?
Yeah, how'd you not know that?
Sure.
What a bunch of lamers. All right. Brian Dunaway coming in hot.
Cool.
We're going to get him in here. We're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to take your calls. We're going to see who wins. Let's do this now with a little bit of music. Joining us right now is our good friend Brian Dunaway from sunny South Carolina in the USA. Hello, Brian Dunaway. How are you?
Oh, hi, Scott and Brian, and it is definitely not sunny.
Oh, dang it. Really? You guys, we're at it was like 82 today, or it's going to be 82 today. It's cold.
Oh,
it's hot.
Yeah,
There's
I don't
this
get it.
thing
If it's
called
sunny here,
geography.
how come it's not sunny there?
Yeah, aren't
It
we
should
on the
be-
same
right.
planet? Aren't we in the same flat Earth? It's flat Earth.
I think you're wrong. I think the flat Earth is one theory, but I think relativity is another one.
Oh.
So
Listen,
relatively
I've seen-
speaking, I'm nowhere near you, Scott.
I've seen Game of Thrones. I know that we're all living in a big bowl,
Yeah.
and the sun is
Right.
the center of that big bowl.
Yep.
And,
You want to have the
B,
whole right?
if I want to get to South Carolina, all I have to do is just wait for a scene change, and I'm in South Carolina.
That's right.
If you really want to have your mind blown, start thinking about the fact there is no now.
Oh, what? Stop
What?
it. Stop it. There is no now. You're right.
Now is every time there's a now, it's then.
I heard an argument on the Giant Bombcast about how whether or not a straw is one hole or two holes. and they never brought this up, but what it made me think of is if a straw is only a single hole because it's an entrance and an exit, but it's the same hole, just elongated, then that means everything.
Yeah, humans are one hole.
Well, everything's a straw.
We're a bunch of tubes anyway.
Everything's a straw. Even at a microscopic level, if you punch a hole in a piece of paper and you get right down to it, there's thickness to it. Therefore, paper is just a straw.
Oh, stop trying to live in your 3D world. Whatever. You got to deal with time, so don't even worry about the other crap.
I guess if you had like a single flat layer of molecules and there was no doubling up, it was one thin layer, then maybe that's just a hole if you cut a hole on that. But everything else has some thickness, therefore it's a straw. All right. Hey, that's great. Wow. Let's find out who this is on the phone, who's been waiting very patiently while we talk about dumb stuff. Hi, who's this?
Hey guys, it's Nismaru in the Tadpool.
Nismaru in the Tadpoo. I like to say Tadpoo when Nismaru calls. Hey, it's good to have you here. Thanks for playing today. Brian's going to explain how this works, what you could win, and what we have to do. Brian?
We'll do exactly that. Nismaru, I'm going to be giving Scott and Brian a topic. They're going to go back and forth giving me answers that fit that topic. If one of them gives a wrong answer, repeated answer, or they take too long to come up with an answer, the win is going to go to the other player. Your job is to predict who's going to come out on top based on the topic. Today, you are playing for a prize package that includes the game Tower of Guns from Steam, courtesy of David Genswaj. Is that a good one?
That's
Sounds
a
like
very cool game, yeah. It's like a throwback to like 90s shooters, but in a really cool modern way. It's rad. It's very good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. You're also going to get a copy of Bumblebee, not the tuna, but the movie on Vudu, courtesy of Anthony. So you'll play a game, you'll watch a movie, and you'll make yourself a tuna sandwich, but you must provide your own tuna sandwich.
That's actually the only good Transformers movie,
That
by the way.
that is the only good Transformers movie.
Yeah, it's quite
no
good.
argument there.
It's quite good. It's very good.
Oh, what? Dark of the Moon? Brian Dunaway?
Yeah, Dunaway. You tell. Okay, so we're not counting the animated stuff. The 87 thing is the top. It's the best. But if you're talking about the live action recenty stuff and all the Michael Bay things.
You can't go saying none of them are good.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, you could say none of them are my preferred way of watching.
Okay, I'll say this. None of them are
Transformers.
good to me. There
There you go.
I've done it.
Perfect.
I've owned
Perfect.
it. Yeah, no, I don't want to. I'm definitely not prescribing everybody else's tastes. I'm just saying.
Right.
For me, those movies are
I
a
am
huge lost opportunity.
None of the Transformers movies are good except for Bumblebee.
Yeah.
IMHO.
Yeah, there you go. IMHO.
IMHO.
All right. Well, this sounds all right. What's our topic?
You want a topic? You
Yeah.
want a topic? All right. Ted Danson. Terrific actor Ted Danson has appeared in 14 television series as a series regular.
Okay.
Meaning that he's played the same character on 3 or more episodes of a television show.
Okay.
For example, Saturday Night Live, he only hosted once, but he guest appeared when Kirstie Alley was on. But so that you couldn't give me that one because he wasn't a regular. However, he's been a regular on many, many series, 14 of them to be exact. I want to know how many of them you can name.
Okay.
Any
14?
further clarification? Doesn't stuff like appearing on as a guest on the Jimmy Kimmel Show doesn't count? He's been on there a lot more than 3 times, but scripted television show.
Scripted television.
Hold on. Do
with
animated appearances if it's more than 3 count?
Animated appearances do count. Yes.
Okay.
Wait.
And there's one in
think
particular
about that for a
that's
minute.
scripted but not scripted.
Yeah,
You
that
know-
one counts as well.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I know.
Just making
I
sure.
know what you're talking about.
Just
All
making
right.
sure.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking
Okay.
about?
Anyway, Nista Maru, knowing that that's their topic, who do you want to go first, and who do you think is going to win?
Let's go. Brian to go first. Got to win.
Yeah, Nis
All
Maroon calling it like it is. All right, Dunaway, go.
Fine. Cheers.
Yeah, get it that low-hanging fruit. From 1982 to 1993, he was the lovable Sam Malone on the TV show Cheers.
Oh.
Well, let's start on the whole other end of the spectrum and say The Good Place.
The Good Place.
How's it
Indeed, from 2016 to 2020, he was good in The Good Place.
It was good.
I'm trying to remember
The
his
Good
character name. He was Michael.
Michael. That's it.
He was adequate in CSI.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he was accurate. I need a
Forgot about that.
Crime
clarification.
scene investigation.
There we go.
What do you want?
CSI : Crime Scene Investigation.
Oh, is
He
it
took
called
over-
Crime Scene Investigation?
Yeah,
colon?
it's called CSI. There are many shows, so I want to know. I want you to
Okay.
be
Well,
clear.
I just assumed that you would understand.
He
that
took over
CSI.
for William Peterson, playing D.B. Russell from 2011 to 2015 on CSI: Crime Scene Investigation.
Well, let's go ahead and use one of my favorites. It was his stint on season 2 of Fargo.
Fargo,
that's a good
2015
one.
is
He
a
was
great stint. and it was a great
Amazing on
season.
there. Yeah. Played a sheriff, old sheriff. He was great.
Yes.
Old Sheriff.
Old sheriff.
I'm Grizzly.
Sam Malone.
And I'm a tall stick of Slim Jim. I'm going to go back a little bit to that TV show that I can never find anywhere where he was the doctor, Dr. Becker.
Oh,
Becker. It's a good one. 1998 to 2004. I mean, it's a good one to say. I never saw an episode of it, but I heard
Really?
he was
enjoyed it.
angry and bitter, and it was a funny show by all accounts.
It's all right. I think it just went against type because it wasn't very Sam Maloney, and so people weren't used to that, and I think it threw people
Yeah.
off. But I think on its own, in that context, it was fine. It was funny. It was good. It's what's her name left Star Trek DS9 to be on that show.
Mulgrew?
No,
No, DS9. Sorry, the different. Yeah,
Kat-
Jadzia Dax.
Yes, Jadzia Dax.
Yes.
She left for that.
Yeah.
All right.
Terry Farrell.
I
got my Voyager and my DS9 confused.
I know that this happened. I don't know. This is dangerous territory. I should think of something else.
Wow. Okay.
Dangerous.
Let me think about that for a second. I think that was only 2 episodes.
Oh, the Trek Nerd says she was not asked to return and she did not ask to leave.
How does he know that? Is that true? Is that
Apparently
true?
so. I mean, if anyone would know, Daryl
usually
would know.
interviews. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I'll remember. I'll do the other one because I remember loving this too. It was at least one season of Damages. May have been season first or first.
He
season.
was
I've
on
never
Damages
seen
for
Damages.
3 years.
Damages. Was great.
2007 to 2010, he was on the show Damages.
Oh, longer than I thought. I thought it was just one season, but
No, well, I wonder.
maybe.
I mean, he was on
flashbacks,
23 episodes. Oh, looks like the oldest one. Yeah, 2007, Arthur Frobisher. From 2007 to 2010, he was Arthur Frobisher on the show Damages.
How is Damages that old? That's weird.
Right?
That's weird how old that is. That's a great show. It's very good.
Was it? I've never seen it.
Yeah, first season was. I don't think I saw it after that, but I love that first season. It's got people in it you like, Brian. There are people in there.
Really?
Yeah.
People I like. There are people I like.
People you like, yeah.
For example, Ted Danson.
Yeah, there's
Glenn
others.
Close. Oh, Rose Byrne.
Yeah,
I
Rose
like her
Byrne.
a
You
lot.
like Rose Byrne, yeah.
I like her a lot.
Yeah. So anyway.
Timothy Busfield. I could take or leave Timothy Busfield.
It depends on if you're doing Revenge of the Nerds, Timothy Busfield,
Yes,
or Skeptical. Right. I don't think if you build it, they will come to Timothy Busfield.
Tom Noonan. Film Sack regular Tom Noonan. Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah, Tom Noonan, who in RoboCop 2 was selling Nuke. Remember that? He was pushing Nuke, slinging Nuke.
Well, he was one of the bad guys in Last Action Hero is what I'll always think of Tom Noonan as.
Yeah, he's great and weird.
Great. All right, there you go. So Damages now off the table. Brian Dunaway, we've given you a lot of extra time to think about stuff.
Yeah.
Now I
Did it
know
help
one
you?
more. I only know one more, but that didn't help me. Actually, having y'all talk about the Trek Nerd helped me because I was thinking, oh yeah, he was in the Orville.
He was.
As the Admiral.
He was.
Yes, he was. Now here's why I made that clarification. He was only in 3 episodes as Admiral Perry, but he was in 3 episodes as Admiral Perry.
So it counts.
It's only been 3 episodes. That sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds right.
He has a good agent.
All right. The
He and
reason
his wife both have good agents.
The reason I asked about animated before is I remember him being on. I hope it's 3. It may not be the 3. Okay, this may be a problem, but I remember American Dad had him on there for some role.
Oh, nice.
American Dad absolutely had him on as Dr. Ray Petit. From his first appearance was in 2015. His second appearance was in 2018. His third appearance was in 2019.
Wow.
So yes, three appearances for Ted in American Dad.
Dodge that bullet.
Right. Then surely Ted Danson has been. There's so many years. I'm just going to take a shot here. The Simpsons. I mean, there's been so many years of it. Surely he's been on at least 3 times.
Of course, right? You'd think, appearing
right.
maybe as himself or something, or some other sort of appearance. No, you'd be wrong to think that. He appeared once as Sam Malone in an episode of The Simpsons.
I remember that one. That was the one I remember, but I assumed he had done more.
Yeah. He only appeared in one episode of Frasier as Sam Malone. I thought he'd been on that a couple more times than he had, but
I didn't
no.
even think about Frasier.
Yeah.
In 1994 and 1995.
How about Victoria's Closet when what's her face did her little
Kirstie Alley?
He probably showed up like
he
once.
appeared as Nick Vanover in one episode of Veronica's Closet.
Yeah, he did that. He would go to these spin-off shows, and in the case of Frasier, he played Sam, but he only did it the one time. Same with Woody, came on once. All those Cheers people got at least one show up over there, with the exception of what's her name?
You owe us, Ted.
Yeah.
Come on my show, Ted.
Yeah, with the exception of what's her name? His ex-wife, can't think of her name.
Diane Chambers, Shelley Long.
No, she only did once. It's the other one. Who's the lady?
Oh, I thought you meant appearing on one of her shows.
No.
You mean Frasier's
on
wife?
Frasier?
Mary Steen. Oh, Whoopi Goldberg.
No,
that's hilarious.
No, on Frasier. Hold on, back up. Everybody back up. Everybody back up. Back that truck up.
What movie was it they did?
We're saying, hold on, Frasier, on Frasier.
Oh, you're not talking about Ted Danson appearing on these other shows. You're talking about Baby
Frasier's
Newer.
wife.
Yes, Lilith, that's the name. Oh
Gotcha.
my good Lord on high.
Didn't know what you were talking about.
Good
there.
Lord on a cracker toast.
So that means I win. I won that. Is what happened.
You did win that, yes.
Oh,
Do you
it's
have a ball
fantastic.
spike?
I'm
Not
just-
that you need one.
Actually, I may have been out. Oh no. I was going to
No,
say
come
the
on.
other CSI show he had crossover on.
I couldn't think of which one though.
That's the problem. I don't remember the one. It's probably that cybery one, the Cyber Town. What's it called? Internet cyber.
I didn't watch that trash. I was immediately turned off. I was like, nah.
yeah.
no
CSI Cyber. Yeah, he actually he ran that series with was it
I don't know who.
oh
it was.
god, what was her name from Medium?
thanks.
Arquette.
Oh, Patricia
Oh, yeah,
Arquette.
yeah.
Patricia Arquette, was she the lead in that, or was it
She
somebody
was.
else?
Yeah, it was her that had James Vanderbeek in it. It had
Right.
Peter McNichol, I think, was on there. The guy with the whistly nose on.
Wow, you clearly saw more episodes of CSI Cyber than I ever saw.
I remember being excited because I saw this
too.
cast and went, "Oh, this could be interesting." And then I saw an episode and went, "This is just shit.
I mean, I saw the cast and thought this is not going to be good.
It's not good.
Not for cyber.
No, it's not good. Well, it wasn't good because the cyber part was all wrong.
Right.
None of the tech was right. It was all fake. It sucked. It was
What's funny, Scott, is you brought up a series when you're asking for clarification about an unscripted, unscripted series.
bad. Right. I forgot about Curb Your Enthusiasm. Gosh dang it.
That's right.
Oh,
Yes,
I still haven't
exactly.
seen it.
So the
Bits
other ones
of
you
it.
didn't mention, like you said, Curb Your Enthusiasm, CSI Cyber. He was also in a great HBO show called Bored to Death. If you have not seen Bored to Death, it is fantastic and hilarious. And it's got Jason Schwartzman, Jonathan Hodgman. Trying to remember. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Who else is in that? If it's probably now on
HBO Max.
HBO Max, so it's worth checking out. Zach Galifianakis. Really, really good show.
Nice.
Go check
I never,
that out.
never saw that.
Pikachu.
All right.
He was in something. Oh, and Bebe Neuwirth was on that too. He was also in something called Help Me Help You for quite a while, 2006 to 2007. 14 episodes as Dr. Bill Hoffman.
Okay.
He plays a doctor quite often.
Never heard
He
of
does.
that.
Looks like he's a
Was
therapist
he ever in a
with
soap
a bunch
opera?
of.
For some
He
reason, I kept
was
thinking he was in a soap
From
opera.
1975 to 1977, he was in a show called The Doctors.
Wow.
Really? So he's always
Yes.
been a doctor then. Interesting.
He's always been a real doctor. He's got the real.
Yeah.
He's
Except when he had the alcohol problem and he
Oh.
took up sports.
Well, that was his character in Cheers, though. See, just
that's right.
yeah, just for clarification.
I mean, that's not his real. That's
no,
not his real.
I don't think so.
present?
I could be wrong,
Oh,
but
really
I really
drunk?
don't think so. I don't think he was that alcoholic of a.
One other show called Ink that he was on, and I don't know anything about that one, but he was on that for a while too.
Ink. Is it a tat?
Ink as a regular. Mike Logan. It was a 1996 to 1997 with his wife Mary Steenburgen,
Yeah.
Christine Ebersole from who we all know from that great horrible season or two from Saturday Night Live when
I don't.
when they changed all of the series, the show running.
Wait, is she related? She's not related to the Ebersol.
She's Dick Ebersole's daughter.
Really?
I think.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Daughter. Let me take a look here. Christine Ebersole.
Maybe they're not married. Hold on. I'm trying to find it too. Marriage.
Am I thinking? Maybe I'm thinking of someone else that was from Saturday Night Live because I'm not seeing her on Saturday Night Live. So I am thinking of someone else.
Oh yeah, this lady's older.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing wrong with that, but I don't think she's. I don't think she's Ebersol's daughter. Anyway, that's interesting. So what was I going to say about that?
Congratulations!
Oh yeah, I was going to say that's what I was going to say. You're the winner.
Yeah, say that.
In fact, this
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
you did it. How do you feel about this? Do you feel good about your choices? I think you should feel good in this, Marie. What do
I
you
think
think?
he did good.
Oh, I absolutely do.
All right,
Except for the
awesome.
math.
Yeah, and these are great prizes today. I think I'm slightly.
gotta
biased.
say-
For sure.
I say having me go first and picking Scott as the winner was the right choice. It was pretty close. I mean,
Yeah, I was
Could have
almost
hemmed
out.
and hawed
I
a
think I
little
was
more.
out. So had you picked the
Yeah.
other way, I think things would have gone weird today.
By the way,
yeah.
she was on Saturday Night Live. She was 1981, 1982. Again, those kind of bad years. Not related to Dick Ebersol.
Sol not soul.
That's Ebersol.
But was still
Who would
part of the
think that
crappy
those- that
crappy time.
Goofy name.
Yeah. So the crappy time had the crappy name, but they were not related. Got it.
Unrelated.
Well done, Nismaru. We hope that you enjoy these. All you got to do is send Brian an email, coverville@gmail.com. He'll transfer these prize codes to you, and you, sir, are the winner. Well done. Brian Dunaway, how the heck are you?
Scott Johnson.
What you looking forward to? What are we doing this weekend?
We're doing Phantasm, one of my favorite
yes.
horror films.
And check Discord, Scott, because I have a scheduling issue with Saturday morning for Sack, so.
I did not know
the Smurfs are on? What?
Smurfs and Plastic Man back to back, and I don't want to set the DVR. I want to watch it live.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I see it now. Why didn't this never showed as like a new message for me? That's weird. All right. I'll read it. I'll check it later and we'll figure it out. But yes, the plan is somehow, some way, if possible, we are going to do the Phantasm.
Just Phantasm. There's no the. Quit putting a the where there's no the.
It feels like there should be one. There should be a the in there.
No, because
there's
it's like
more than one.
Yeah, but why? But are they called just the Phantasm 2 or Phantasm 2? Which is
Phantasm 4?
There's no D in any of those.
All right. Well, I'm excited because I've never seen a Phantasm movie. They were always looming at me when I would go to a video store, and now I'll get the chance, so I'm excited. That's filmsack.com if you want to get all subbed up and ready. If you aren't already.
Get ready for your own silver knife ball.
Damn straight. Brian Dunaway.
I think that's part 2, right? I don't think that happens in part 1.
I don't.
What?
See, I don't know.
No, there's got to be a silver knife ball in.
I don't think there's a silver knife ball in 1. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it seems like that was part 2.
I'm out. I'm not watching it then. You guys record and I'm just out.
Right. It's kind of like when you watch the first Friday the 13th movie and you go, "Where's Jason's mask at? Where's Jason even at?"
Yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah, he's not even in the first one except for the very end. And then in part 2, he wears a potato sack on his head, and then it wasn't until 3 till you really see the hockey mask.
Yeah. And in the first one, well, you see him at the end, but he's not even wearing anything. It's just in the river.
Yeah.
He's just in the water pulling the boat
He was in the
down.
lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a disappointing thing in retrospect, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the time it was
fine.
fun.
When anybody asks me, I always say, start with 3.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think the chat room begs to differ. I think they're saying that there is a silver knife ball in.
There may be,
Phantasm,
but I don't remember it being a very big deal in the first one.
We're about to find out. We're about to find out. We're going to find out this weekend. So tune in and find out if there's a knife ball or not. Brian Dunaway, everybody. He is the Brian Dunaway on Twitter. Bye. Goodbye. What did he say? What did he say at the end there? What was that? Did you hear it?
Catch it.
It
Yeah.
kind of beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That's all I heard too. Okay. Well, that's all well and good. Let's dive into a little bit of news this morning.
I don't watch the news.
All right. Time for the news. Brought to you by
Coverville. 3 birthdays, that we're going to be celebrating on this episode of Coverville as soon as I belch out some coffee. 3 people turning 45, as a matter of fact, right? So apparently 1975 was a good year to be born this week. From the 18th to the 27th, I guess that's 9 days. 9 days.
Yep.
Jack Johnson, Lauryn Hill, and Andre 3000 from Outkast, all born within about 9 days of each other. And so we're going to be listening to Outkast, Fugees, and Jack Johnson today on Coverville, covers of and by each of those artists.
Is that Mr. 3000's real last name?
It is not.
Yeah.
His real last name is Gerbitz. Andre Gerbitz.
Gerbitz? I mean, it's fine. It's a fine name. It's fine. But it's funny. It's a funny name. I would change mine to 3000 as well, I think.
No, his real last name is, I'm pulling it up here because Andre Benjamin, because I might be talking about him in a little bit as well.
Okay. All right. Andre Benjamin.
Andre the Benjamin.
Keeping it real. All right. Let's start with a story here about Elvis Presley. Since we're talking about music, we may as well stay with music for a minute.
Oh.
That's right. You do a good Elvis. I've heard you do it before. Give me a...
One night with you is all I'm asking for.
Are you moving your hips as you do this, or is it just...
Are you lonesome tonight? Did I ever send you that there's a recording of Elvis singing Are You Lonesome Tonight? I think it's in his later years where he can't stop laughing.
No.
Like he can't even get through a single verse of the song. Here, I'm going to find it. You can play like a little tiny bit of it.
I would love to hear this. I've never heard of this. This sounds amazing.
It is so good. Let's talk about this story and then.
Okay, you find that thing.
Yeah.
A rhinestone jockstrap belonging to Elvis Presley is on sale for almost 30,000 euros.
Why am I singing Are You Lonesome Tonight when I should be singing Like a Rhinestone Jockstrap?
Here. The jockstrap that belonged to Elvis Presley is up for sale for almost that amount of money. The rhinestone studded posing pouch bearing the King's initials was custom made by one of Elvis's fans, and the star wore it until his death in 1977. Woo! Dry clean that thing. Sounds nasty. Part of the Elvis Museum collection, it is priced at $29,950 and is being sold by a celebrity memorabilia expert, Paul Frazier, and his company, Paul Frazier Collectibles. The jockstrap was acquired from singer Jimmy Velvet's collection. Who's Jimmy Velvet?
Oh, Jimmy Velvet. Jeez Louise.
Who's that? I don't know who that is. That's
I don't know, but just the name Jimmy Velvet. Is there any way that this guy's house isn't sticky?
Oh, yeah, I guarantee it. Here he is. Tennant was born, let's see, his real name.
What? Jimmy Velvet's not his real name?
I know, shocking. His real name is Jimmy Tennant. He's born, he's a soft rock and roll vocalist.
Should have changed his name to Lou.
Yeah. Do you know the songs It's Almost Tomorrow or We Belong Together from the 60s? Do you know those songs? Are those familiar to you? No.
We Belong Together? No.
He was championed by Dick Clark, who had him on American Bandstand more than once, it says here. He made a bunch of records, and they all sound like stuff no one remembers. Anyway, he had a giant Elvis collection. So
okay. Apparently, including a rhinestone-studded jockstrap.
It's a rhinestone-studded jockstrap.
The Elvis song, by the way, should be in your Dropbox now. The one we share for today.
Oh, okay. Hold on then. Let's see if I got that right here. I do. For the Wednesday. Here it is. All right, let's see if we can hear this.
Are you lonesome tonight?
Jump a minute or so in.
Okay.
Let's
see, about a minute.
Tell me, dear, are you lonesome? Oh, Lord.
So what was his problem? Something was cracking him up, obviously, but what was it?
I think it was the backing vocalist, because it's as soon as she starts singing, he starts laughing his head off.
Hold on, let me go back.
You and wish you had hair.
Yeah, it's her going, oh!
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty good. Plus, he was on the drugs.
He was on the drugs, and I think he screwed up one of the lines. Do you look in the mirror and wish you had hair instead of do you look in the mirror and picture me there? So he kind of
wow, that's great.
Changed his own lyrics there, whether it was intentional or not. But he Weird Al'd himself.
What was the year? Circa what? What was this? Like
that's a really good question. I don't know.
70s maybe.
Definitely 70s. Yeah, okay. It was definitely the later Elvis years.
Yeah.
Zoe actually found a video of it, so wow, there you go.
Well done, Zoe. All right. Anyway, this jockstrap's going for a lot of money. If you want it, then it's yours for a mere 30,000 euros, if you can afford it.
There you go.
Queen Elizabeth.
Is there an ATM nearby?
Yeah. So run down there, get some cash. Queen Elizabeth II. Is she the one in charge right now? That's her, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
She once hid in a bush to avoid talking to Buckingham Palace guests. This would be me, dude. I'd be so sick of the limelight. I'd be the queen and hate it. And I would look for any excuse I could to hide from people.
Who here is not visualizing that meme of Homer Simpson slowly walking backwards into a hedge?
It's just the queen into a flower bush.
Yeah, exactly, yes.
We've all been in the situation where we wanted to duck down and avoid seeing someone. Well, it looks like that's something that also happens to Queen Elizabeth II. In a new ITV documentary called Our Queen Inside the Crown.
Our Queen and the Crown.
Inside the Crown. The special shows the royal hiding in a bush to dodge one of her guests at Buckingham Palace, and who was deemed too controversial for her to talk to. The moment took place in 1978 when the Romanian dictator Nicolae, some name, made a visit.
Ceausescu.
Is that how you say it? Ceausescu.
Yeah.
Oh, I've even heard the name. I didn't know that's how it's spelled. Of course, it's weird and hard to say. While many royal fans have pointed out that Queen Elizabeth had interacted with the unquestionable with the questionable public figures such as Vladimir Putin, Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad, and Zimbabwe dictator Robert Mugabe.
Yeah,
Mugabe. No one left an impact quite like Nikolai. It says in the documentary, explains that the Romanian dictator had a 4-day visit to London with his wife Elena. Like most guests of Buckingham Palace, it's customary to have a sit-down dinner with the Queen. However, apparently did not bode well with the public, as he wasn't generally liked by UK folks. Bada bing, bada boom, she hid in the bush.
And that damn name,
yeah,
is impossible to pronounce. Something
like that.
It's funny when you do a search, by the way, for Ceausescu, and I think I could be wrong in my pronunciation, so if I am, then I apologize. But when you Google him, the Google autofill gives you Ceausescu's final speech, Ceausescu's last speech, and then Ceausescu's facial expression.
Oh, why is that?
Which now I'm curious about. What is it about Ceausescu's facial expression?
Yeah, no kidding. He was let's see. He was assassinated by one of his own soldiers, it says here.
Oh, was he really?
Is that true? Hold on. Now I'm interested. Here we go. Death. Where's death? Okay, death. Here we go. Ceausescu and his wife fled the capital. Let's see. They went via helicopter. They fled again to another residence. I'm trying to skip ahead here. On Christmas Day, 1989, the Ceausescus were tried before a court and convened. Okay. It was a shoot. He was convicted and then executed by gunfire. That's what it was. And there's a story about how the soldier who had the job of shooting him, I don't know if it was a squad or not, it doesn't say, but it says he's still nervous to this day that someone's going to get revenge on him or something. Because that's how it goes with powerful, horrible men. That shit follows you your whole life. You can't get away from it.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, totally.
All right. Moving on. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to spend some time with Tom Merritt and Nicole. I think Nicole's here. Did she reply?
She's here. She replied with a yep.
Awesome. So that'll all happen right after this. Before this, though, we need to play music, and Brian has the goods.
Yeah, some dramatic music coming up.
It works wonders when the family gathers at Grandma's for one of those special Sunday dinners. And if you get a headache later on, that's when Bayer works wonders.
Hey, kid! It's from Kaiser Forum.
The Morning Stream. The Cavalry's here.
All right, we're back. We're back, everybody. I have the worst headache today. It won't go away. No. I've had it all morning, and I thought, no big deal. I'll just kind of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like killing me. Stupid thing. I don't like.
I can relate, man.
Yeah, you had one on Saturday. What's the deal with these headaches?
Saturday.
No more of these.
Well, mine might have been hangover related.
Yeah, that's right, because you guys did your socially distant thing.
Social distant happy hour thing, and
turned into more than an hour, didn't it? More hours than an hour.
It did. It was a happy evening, but it was fun. You know what? We got together socially distanced from the neighbors. We all got together in backyard, back patio, and we kind of sat spaced apart. Didn't share glasses or anything like that. And the next day, my neighbor across the street gave birth to a baby girl.
Oh my gosh!
Unrelated to the events of the happy hour, by the way. It's not a Saturday night at Ibbott's house kind of situation.
Gotcha. It was a Friday night at Ibbott's house. I get it.
It was a Friday night at Ibbott's house.
Yeah. Produces very different results.
She of course did not enjoy the happy hour the way the rest of us enjoy the happy hour.
No, but really, who could?
Who could?
Well, that's great. Congratulations to her. That sounds awesome. Let's do this now.
With the computer, as with any tool, the concept and direction must come from the man.
That man is Tom Merritt. He's here with us today. as he is every Wednesday, to talk about the latest tech headlines of the day. Tom, how are you doing?
Well, I'm a little behind this morning because I'm digging in on Twitter's history of policy.
Gosh, I can't imagine why.
Yeah.
No recent events have happened that caused us to think of that.
Yeah, this is a tricky one for Daily Tech News Show because what I want to do here's what I've written so far for today's show. Yesterday, Twitter put a fact-checking link on a post from the president. It's tempting to get into what the post said and whether it was true and what the fact-checkers said and whether that was also true and who the fact-checkers were. And there's a conversation about that should be had. But DTNS is not going to be the place for that conversation. Our mission is to help each other understand technology. And my contention is that from the technology standpoint, it matters less what was said, but how the system worked.
Right.
So that's what I'm digging into is what has Twitter's history of policy been? And then what did they do yesterday? And how did that fit? What was consistent with past policy? What was new? How was it applied, et cetera?
Right. And it's interesting because I've been thinking a lot about this. Like when I first heard that they had put those tags on there, immediately you had voices saying this isn't enough. It even looks like it's promoting what was said. If you don't click it, like you wouldn't know. It looks like a little thing that says, "Hey, learn more about whatever the issue was."
Mail-in ballots, yeah.
Yeah, and then others have said, "No, this is great. It's nice to see them finally doing this. It needs to be checked," and blah blah blah. And then others have said, "Well, it's a unique case because of who he is." And that changes the conversation. It isn't like somebody up the road said, "Hey, I heard if you drink gasoline, you'll live 50 years longer." You can, that's a pretty easy one to put a warning tag on or a misinformation tag on.
Don't drink gasoline.
Yeah, because it's an easy one, right? But
well, and honestly, where this is Twitter has been much more hands off on this sort of thing. Facebook has gone to the you might say over-engineered, you might say not, of creating an independent court separate from itself to adjudicate this sort of stuff. Twitter has pretty much said, like, we're going to leave things up with a few exceptions. And those few exceptions have been harm, advocating harm. They have also been synthetic or manipulated media, and most recently, COVID-19.
Yeah.
And so what I'm finding, and I'm still wrapping my head around this, is this seems to be a new step out of the COVID-19 policy they announced May 11th to say we're gonna take that system that we created and said we're gonna apply this to COVID-19, and now this is our first case of applying it outside of that.
Right.
And the key to that is the COVID-19 thing they announced May 11th had a sort of Venn diagram that said, okay, if the claim is unverified, then no, we won't take any action. Even if you think it's wrong, we can't find anything about it, which makes sense. If it's a disputed claim, in other words, some credible people are saying this is wrong, but it's not universal, then we'll put a label on it, unless it's got a propensity for harm, and then we'll put the warning thing that blocks you from seeing it unless you click through.
Right.
If it's misleading, in other words, this is definitely saying something that most people think is not right, then they'll label it. Unless it has the propensity for severe harm, then they'd remove it altogether.
Right. And so is there, well, I guess that's what you're digging into now.
And that was about COVID-19 stuff. So it was
Right.
easier to wrap my head around that, to say like, oh, okay. If somebody says chloroquine, wow, that could be interesting. Well, unverified, like, oh, who knows? That wouldn't take action. If it was like, hey, chloroquine's gonna solve this, well, that's disputed, especially now that the WHO has ended its test. So that could be a label situation. If somebody said, go buy all the chloroquine now and rub it all over your body and lay out in the sun and drink gasoline, well, there you go. That's
right. So there's these levels. But here's the question. In all your digging around, have you found that there has been even application of this new policy, that this particular application of this policy on the president's tweets? Are there other examples of it?
No, that's the thing. For synthetic or manipulated media, yes. For COVID-19, yes. This is the first step outside of those realms, as far as I can tell.
And see, and that's where it gets real tricky for me, because my personal
if they
opinion
had precedence.
Yeah. My personal opinion aside, because I do think those tweets are dangerous, but that all push that way over here. It would be nice if Twitter didn't use their launch of the new tag to do his. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right,
there's plenty of them
then
out there.
It looks like it's specifically.
Because that's the part that's going to get them in trouble.
That's where it starts to lead off into the political waters, right? Like, okay, what was their motivation in doing this? There's the whole Joe Scarborough thing. Were they trying to deflect attention from that? In the course of just looking at that claim, did they say, well, that one doesn't fit, but maybe this one does?
Yeah.
You know, and the two conclusions that I want to talk about on the show later today are that we don't have a very good idea of who the fact checkers are. Facebook is very clear, like, these are our fact checkers. We've tried to balance it out. Whereas Twitter, I can't find any listing of who they are. I know they mentioned Washington Post and CNN on the curated page for the president's tweets.
Yeah.
But they said, and others.
Yeah.
And there's no, and I may find it by Showtime later today, but I have not found a listing of, like, these are the folks in our fact checking circles.
Yeah. I mean, that's,
and so those are the weaknesses in the system being applied now, which is it's a new application without any previous announcement of policy, and it is using fact checkers, which, when you're talking about fact checkers, you know, hashtag portal to hell, hashtag hell portal, as Justin Robert Young says, you're going to have all kinds of people saying, well, these are the only fact checkers worth trusting, and you're not using them. So, you know, that's a tricky situation.
All of it is, like, I don't know how this gets, this is like one of the great conundrums of our modern day. How do you do this? How do you self-regulate it? And how do you make it so you can apply the most, like, it's literally impossible. You could tell me this was fact checked by the foremost experts in the area ever on the planet, and there are still going to be a swath of people, with good faith or not, who say that that's a terrible choice for your source and that you should be using these sources. Like, there's no winning that.
Yeah. There's very few situations where you can say, like, oh, okay, we got the Daily Caller and the Nation agree that this is not correct, and therefore, you know, everybody's on the same side. I mean, can happen, certainly, but you're going to have so few situations where that's true that might not be terribly useful if that's how you designed your system. So you have to go with the majority, and then it becomes a question of, well, I'm not interested in coming to an agreement. I'm not interested in learning. I'm interested in chalking up a W for my side. So what can I do to cast doubt on the decision? And that applies to many sides here, not just one or two.
If I were them, this is just me, if I were Twitter, the way I would have done this, because it still would have been a good faith effort, is I would have had this thing ready to launch with 6 or so prominent voices who have tweets that fit into this category, because they exist, and you can find them on all spectrums of the political spectrum. And have that ready to apply. So if there was a big fat lie that was not good, that was told by, I don't know, Bernie Sanders or somebody else, get his ready, pop it on his tweet, put the president's on there, pop it on the tweet, just have it ready to be spread far and wide in a big swath of idealism, so that you kind of can say, and say with, you know, with honesty, hey, we applied it to a bunch of tweets today, and they were all wrong in these ways, or they were all questionable in these ways, which made it so we had to put these links on there to get fact-checking information, so that they don't look like they're just doing the one, because it's just not going to, well, hell portal to hell, right? Like, it's just going to cause consternation for the next forever.
I would go farther. I would say what you need to do is what they did with the COVID-19 thing on May 11th. You delineate the procedure ahead of time. You be as transparent as possible about what you're about to do, and then you start doing it.
Yeah, that would have been the way
then,
to do it.
And then that way, it's not like, oh, see, we picked 6 people from all walks of life to label, because that you could accuse people of faking that too. Like, well, you just picked them because they're from all walks of life. Maybe they're not wrong. Like, you picked my guy for a label just to balance it out, and my person doesn't have a problem in this. So you've got to, if you're going to try to play this fool's errand, you got to lay it out really clearly. Like, okay, here are our rules, and we're going to follow them.
Yeah. You always say this is hard at scale, and you're so right. This is just so hard at scale. The bigger this gets, the harder it gets. It's also like what other sort of societal example of this do we even have in history? I'm sure there's something somebody could point to.
Law is the best one I could think of.
I guess so.
Like
making
libel
sure the law isn't
and
created just for the one person you don't like.
Yeah, I guess so. But
you create laws that say, like, okay, I mean, we have slander and libel laws in the United States anyway that have been created over hundreds of years. That say, okay, well, if there was actual malice and this is a public figure and we've got, that's the closest precedence to this.
Yeah.
What's happening is, and I think maybe this is where the conversation should go later today on DTNS, is this, from the law standpoint, Twitter can do whatever they want. There's no free speech issue here. This certainly no First Amendment issue anyway. Put it this way, Twitter can decide not to allow free speech on its platform. It's their platform, right? So there's no legal situation. But it's become so important that people are treating it like a public square, which then makes it feel like it needs laws.
Yeah. Ugh, I don't know. I don't know what I want out of it in the end. I think it's just you're screwed if you do and screwed if you don't. If they do what they're doing now, they're kind of screwed. If they do, if they don't do anything, they're just as screwed, because then they're a platform that allows horrible things to happen.
What they need to do is just really quickly find a couple of people who misspoke or had a typo in their tweets today, and just say, no, that's infactual. See, we got somebody else. We did it to somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. Do that. See if that fixes it.
Yes and no, right? Like, on the one hand, sure, yeah, then you could point to that, but honestly, that just causes more problems, because the people are like, that's, you can't even joke about it, right? Like, that's the thing, is because people are like, no, you picked on my person for a typo. You obviously hate it. You didn't pick on that person for that typo over there.
Right. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. So you're just, I don't know. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Scale is hard. All right. Well, we're going to talk about that and all the other issues around this, plus other cool tech news, later today on the Daily Tech News Show at 2:30 Mountain Time. I'll be there because it's Wednesday, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Tom Merritt, before we go, is there anything rad you're up to right now that we can tell the fine folks at home about?
Yes, indeed. Work Insanity is a brand new podcast from myself and Patrick Beja about working from home. So Patrick and I have been sort of refining the pitch over the past few days since we launched it, and the idea is, taking a well-deserved break is important. That's one of the things we talk about on the podcast. And so we created a show that's about 15 minutes long, a good break time, so that you can sit and listen to 2 folks talking about their experiences working from home. We both have 10 years or more of experience working from home to help you get some ideas on how to improve your work from home experience. And we know more and more people are in that situation these days. So please go take a listen. Workinsanity.net.
Yeah, go check it out. It's great. And
it's got a great logo too.
Logo. I heard that album art's pretty good. I have no idea. I have to go check it out.
Scott did the album art. And he did a great job. It was really good.
Thank you very much. Your wife works at Fandango. I don't know why. It sounded like one of those. All right. Tom Merritt, everybody. Ace Detect on Twitter. We'll see you this afternoon.
Bye.
Bye now.
See you, Tom.
All right. Man, that Twitter stuff's a mess. I like Twitter for what it gives me, which is lets me communicate with my community. That's it. That's what I want.
My people.
I want the people.
I want to be able to talk to my people.
To the people.
I want to talk to my people in China.
Honestly, I mean, you probably don't care to do this.
I've been taking Flintstones chewable vitamins now for 2 weeks. I'm fine. I feel like Barney Rubble.
He said yesterday he wondered if he should start messing around with insulin. I don't take it now. Should I take some?
Did he really?
Yeah. That was a weird thing to say. I don't think he knows what it does. He must not know what it does. Or else why would you say that? But I was trying to figure it out. It was really hard for me to figure out what the hell he was talking about.
I'm taking Viagra. I don't have the problem, but I'm just taking it. Give me a handful of pills. They wrap them in peanut butter and deep fry them. I'm taking. I don't know what I'm taking.
Yeah, now send us emails that we're too political. I'm sure that'll happen. Look, you got to make fun of your leaders. You got to punch up. That's what we do. All right, let's pull Nicole into this call here that we're having.
Okay.
And it's like my screen's too bright or something.
Because of the headache.
Yeah, just a headachy headache.
Oh.
All right. Hey guys, know this song? I do. Where is it? Here you go. Nicole Spagnolo, all the way from somewhere in Colorado. I'm not going to be too specific. Not going to give her address. That'd be weird. I'm not going to dox her right here.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can totally hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can see you. We can everything you.
Yeah. you doing all right? How you doing?
You would think after how many years that, whatever.
Yeah. Did
Legacy
you have
podcaster.
Did you have problems? Did you have problems setting up or something today?
No. I just have to remember to unplug and plug it back in before I go on the call.
Oh, gotcha. Well, hey, welcome to the world of throwing it together.
I'm here though.
Yay! You're here. We're doing Recommendals. Yeah, that's right, people. You heard me. Recommendals is where we talk about stuff we saw on streaming services during the week and that we enjoyed and we think that you might as well. We always start with Brian.
Yeah.
Brian, let's start with you.
So I'm trying to remember what order. I think the first one. Okay, these are both series that Tina and I just finished binging because we have so much time to binge series.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, can I just say thank you for recommending Upload? It got me.
Oh, is that fun? Yeah.
Oh, it was so good. It was so
Oh,
good.
that's the one I meant
Totally
to check
fun.
this week. I couldn't remember the name of it. That's the Amazon
good.
Prime deal? Or do I have that wrong?
Amazon Prime, yes.
Okay.
You just need to go into your Fire Stick and they'll just push it to you.
It will be one of the first things it recommends. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's
Good.
so
I'm glad
good.
you enjoyed it. Oh,
I
awesome.
loved it. Loved it.
Cool.
So anyway,
Cool.
sorry. I didn't
All
mean
right.
to sidetrack you. I just wanted to say thank you.
All right, so let's I guess clip number one. They're both series. They both feature that. The reason I want to do both of these together is because they both straddle that line between comedy and drama, and they both have characters, the most compelling characters that drive the series.
Okay.
And so these are kind of related in that way.
Would you call them dramedies or not?
I would call them dramedies.
You
Maybe
would?
more commas. I think they're more commas.
All right, more commas. All right.
Yeah.
Check it out. Here's the first one.
Do you know what, Jackie? You're right. Who am I to be preaching at you like this? I'm a 37-year-old man. Without a life or a girlfriend or even a proper home. I'm a fucking fraud. And I am as guilty of your husband's death as if I had killed him myself. And then I told them all to go home. And this was 10 minutes into a 3-day event, by the way. So that went down well. And now there are memes of me, and I think I'm just becoming like a bit of a
laughing stock.
Scapegoat.
Huh? Yeah.
No, I guess laughing stock's about right. If you want to go home, I'll understand. But I'll tell you one thing, absolutely honestly. I really don't want you to.
This guy's voice sounds really familiar to me.
Should. He's been in Star Wars. He's been in Ex Machina.
Oh! It's freaking what's his name, son? You got a crazy name.
Paul Gleason's son. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dom
Gleason.
Gleason.
There it is. Got it.
The other voice in there that you barely hear is Merritt Weaver. And so two like huge talents coming together for this HBO series called Run. It's a 7-episode series on HBO, and you've probably been seeing it at the beginning of every other HBO thing you've been watching because they've been promoting it before Westworld and probably before I Know This Much Is True and stuff like that. It's a really, really good series. The last episode aired Sunday, and so we kind of started our binge on Friday so that we'd be able to just jump right into the final episode and watch it all in one sitting or a couple sittings.
So the previews are very confusing to me. It makes me feel like this is like Salt, that movie Salt, where they're like, she's running. Like, I feel like they're running from the law. Or
yeah, it's interesting. In Salt, they're running. In Run, they're actually salting everything. They're going to restaurants and they're putting too much salt on their food and
keeping the roads clear of snow, that kind of stuff. Yeah,
that's right, exactly. No, basically the premise is that this couple, Ruby and Billy, have this agreement from when they were younger and they were dating, saying that if at any time one of them texts the other with just the word run and the other one replies back, they're going to do what they can to get to Union Station in New York City and get on the first train after 5 p.m. going to Los Angeles. They'll spend the entire week together and decide at the end of that week if they're going to stay together or break up. And the show starts with Billy texting Ruby the word run and what happens from that. It is again, it's a good story. It's a very compelling story. But what makes it good is Merritt Weaver and Domhnall Gleeson's acting and their characters that they create, which are flawed and lovable, but at times hateable. It's really, really good.
But they're not running from anything.
They're not running from anything. They're running. Well,
I mean, life. Everybody runs from life.
From life, sure. Yeah, let's say running from life. Yeah. So yeah, when you fire up, I don't want to say much more than that because there's twists and turns and things. Yeah. This is also produced, I think, by Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who did Fleabag.
I thought it was written, not written by. I thought it was written by her.
Maybe it's written by her. Let me see. Is it written by her?
I can't remember now.
Vicky Jones is the creator. She also stars in it, and I think it's the first time I've ever heard her as with an American accent. So let's see. Directed by Kate Dennis, Natalie Braley, Kevin Bray. Series writing credits now. Phoebe Waller-Bridge not listed as a.
Oh, weird. But she's involved somehow, right? Her name's all
she's
over
involved
this thing.
somehow. I think produced or something.
Okay. Let's see.
Anyway, yeah, there we go. Executive producer.
Oh,
so
all right.
Yeah, she's
Cool.
an executive producer on this. Anyway, it's really good and it's worth checking out.
All right.
And I'll jump over to the next one so that we've got time, so I'm not taking up all of our time.
All right, here's the next one. Here you go.
All right.
And now that I have your attention, I'll begin. Welcome. As you know, this entertainment is called Dispatches from Elsewhere, a title that I assure you will have more relevance as the story progresses. Unless this is your first experience with a limited-run episodic, which our records indicate it is not, then you're aware of the storytelling convention, which dictates that the filmmaker spend an unnecessary amount of time to introduce you to our protagonist, his occupation, the particularities of his life, and most importantly, the obstacles which stand in the way of his happiness. As the first of my many gifts to you, my friends, I propose we skip this convention and get on with what you came here for, the story. I propose I return to you 20 minutes of your life by reducing this standard introduction to a mere 2 minutes.
Wow. Did he say the title in the beginning and I missed
it? He did say the title right at the very beginning.
Is it the Loop one?
No. I'm watching that though. The Tales from the Loop is rad.
Tales from the Loop. Yeah, we talked about that last week, didn't we?
I don't think we recommended it.
Nobody's watched it yet.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of it. That'll probably be my thing next week. So don't do that one next week, you guys.
Okay. No, it's called Dispatches from Elsewhere. That's Richard E. Grant that you hear at the beginning there. And you know him from the Melissa McCarthy movie last year. How Can You Ever Forgive Me? Or I can't remember what it's called. But when you see the guy's face, you're like, oh yeah, I know Richard E. Grant. He serves as your narrator, but also a character in the story. This is if David Lynch and Michael Gondry got together and created a sort of a feel-good story, this would kind of be it. Michael Gondry, who did Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Where's this streaming?
This is streaming on AMC.
Oh,
okay.
So if you've got the AMC app. Oh, yeah, he's also in Star Wars as General Pride.
From
one of the bad guys.
From Rogue One. He's very good in that.
No, episode 9.
Oh, I thought it was Rogue One. Who am I thinking of?
I don't know who you're thinking of.
There's a guy in Rogue. There's a dude in Rogue One who plays the bad guy who's in a ton of stuff, and he's rad. But it doesn't matter for this conversation. I don't know who that guy is.
It doesn't matter for this conversation. Anyway, so Richard E. Grant. It's also got Andre Benjamin, Andre 3000 from Outkast, as a very cool kind of Cheaty style character from The Good Place. Jason Segel is kind of your main character that you follow. He plays a guy named Peter. There's also a woman named Eve Lindley, a transgender woman named Eve Lindley. Sally Field is also in this as a main character. It's really, really good. It breaks the fourth wall in places I've never ever seen a TV show break the fourth wall before.
Oh,
and that alone should compel you to watch it just based on that.
Watch your back, fifth wall.
That's right. It breaks the fourth wall so much you got to start worrying about the fifth wall.
Wow. Hey, did you know? Sorry, little side note. Richard E. Grant. Did you know that he was in your favorite movie of all time, Brian? Hudson Hawk.
Hudson Hawk.
Yeah.
Not my favorite, but yeah. So he's the dog owner with Sandra Bernhard, the ball.
That's right. Darwin Mayflower was his name. Yep, that's the guy.
That's right. Yes.
Anyway.
Oh yes, believe me, I'm fully aware of his fully studied career. He was also in the Spice Girls movie. So
oh no way.
The guy, it's almost like the guy is following my path of things I like.
That's really great. He's
on a parallel path.
He's in so many great things, and then so many like kitschy things. It's just like the perfect career. This guy. And he's got like Oscar nominations. Like, what else?
Yeah, and his voice is fantastic, and you hear his voice in a couple different styles in Dispatches from Elsewhere. Dispatches from Elsewhere. It's again 10 episodes, relatively quick watch, also, and also very much worth it. It's such a collection of amazing characters that alone almost carries the story without it needing to be a good, compelling story to go with it.
Nice. Man, he's busy. Look at all his credits.
Yeah, he is.
All right.
So there you go.
Nicely done. Two for today. Here's mine. Let's see if you guys can figure it out. Probably can. Maybe not. I don't know. This is my first time seeing it because I missed it back in 2011, and that's all I'll say about it. Here it is.
That's out.
Hey.
Yeah, John Neal here.
Yeah, it ended up being delayed. So, sorry, I was panicking.
Well, if I don't get to see you again, I just wanted to say it was nice to see you again.
Yeah, it was nice to see you too.
And listen, use that other email I gave you, because that's the only secure one, okay?
Okay.
You all right?
Oh, don't
yeah.
you dare.
I'm just jet lagged.
Well, you should go home and get some rest.
I watched Contagion, you guys.
Oh my gosh,
That's
she
Gwen.
coughed. I was like, damn it.
That's Gwen. She's coughing.
Yeah. I didn't know she went out so fast in that story. My gosh.
Yeah.
I watched Contagion for the first time. I'd never seen it before.
God.
And
I have anxiety just swelled up in me right now.
I know.
Really?
I know
Yeah.
this is the kind of thing that you're like, what now? Like during this, you're watching Contagion. Like I said, when we had Wendy on the other day, there's something cathartic about these kinds of stories during a time like this. There's something about
like immersion therapy.
Kind of. You're sort of experiencing it from different points of view, different sort of story points or whatever. Like for me, it does not heighten the anxiety of the stuff we're in right now. It actually weirdly lessens it. So
Not for you, not for me.
no, I know it's not going to be. By the way, I should say I prescribe this to no one but myself. I don't know anyone else or I know other people that are like this, but this is not a universal thing. Absolutely not. And we said that on Wendy's thing as well. But
yeah,
it's a
Jude Law is so freaking weird.
He is very weird in it, and it's also if there's any part of it that I actually don't like, I don't think is great. It's actually his role. I love Jude Law, but I think this role was a very 2011 role. It still has in its head in 2011 that bloggers and the blogosphere and all of that was like this huge, undercutting thing that was gonna, it was like guerrilla journalism sort of thing. And I guess you could argue in some ways it was, but they just overdo that. It's just a little much. The overall
why did she need a secure email?
Because she was sleeping with that dude. She was cheating. Remember?
Oh,
did you ever see
I
this?
didn't watch it. I've
never seen it. Oh, okay.
I have no interest.
Yeah, she
zero.
She was cheating with
She
somebody.
needs a secure email for social distancing.
Yes, for social distancing.
I was like, is this like getting a gun for the virus?
She was like, she wasn't quite patient one, but she was close to it, and she ended up, they had to figure out what this thing was after her death. But Anyway, spoiler, she dies in it. It's a very intense look at this sort of thing. There's some pretty freaky parallels to some of the stuff that's going on now. My big takeaway, though, is that it turns out Soderbergh makes really well-crafted movies, and the actors in this are all very good. Like, it's a good movie, whether or not you care to focus on the content that it represents right now. It's a very well-made film. And I always like Soderbergh movies. I like the way people talk. I like the dialogue. I like the interaction. There's something about his stuff that always has that. And Matt Damon's great. And forget what's her name. Forgot her name. Titanic.
I'm thinking of Outbreak was Rene Russo.
Who's Titanic lady?
Kathy Bates. Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet. That's who I meant. She's great. Like I said, Jude Law is really good.
There's like a whole scene with her wiping down her hotel room. Who's been in my room? Who's been in my room?
Well, it's because she catches it. So, and she's not sure how she caught it, but she's also, someone who travels around and goes to the centers of outbreaks and tries to figure out what's going on. And anyway, it was pretty gnarly, but I thought it was just really well made. Oh, Morpheus is in it. I can't think of anyone's name. Lawrence Fishburne was in it. And
I do want to wait and give Nicole the chance to get some of these names.
Yeah, we got to let her try the Lawrence. Hey, Nicole, how would you say Lawrence Fishburne? Give it a shot. How would you say
Lawrence Fishburne.
See, you got it. You know how to burn a fish. Everything's fine. Anyway, he's great in it. Everybody's great. And so it's a good movie. It's called Contagion. It's on HBO. It's just one of their movie selections right now. So it's on the new app. The new HBO Max app has it still. As of last night, I guess. And it's good. So, again, not going to be for everybody, but if you find catharsis in seeing stuff that sort of reminds you of what's happening right now, then this is for you. If not, maybe skip it, because the theme is obviously, huge viral outbreak that kills a lot of people.
I don't say too soon. Too current.
Yeah, too current. Too current for some people, for sure.
Too real. Have you seen what they're doing in some of the hotels?
Mm-mm. What are they
Speaking
doing?
of wiping down hotels, like Hilton was saying that they're wiping everything down. They're doing keyless, like your key card's going to be on your phone now versus handing you a key card.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like putting this little sealed, like, what is it? You have like the safety container.
Yeah.
They're putting a sealer on the door so that that nobody's gone in after.
Kind of like almost like a police tape kind of thing, like the
the
tape you have to break to get into a crime scene.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Nice.
That's
they
cool.
just do like what they used to do with the toilet seat, where it had that plastic.
Yes.
Or the paper wrap around the. I totally do.
Some hotels already do that thing on their phone. This will be an easy transition for them, hopefully. Like I think Marriott. Oh, someone in the chat said it too. Is it Marriott? Yeah, Marriott does phone card stuff already. Mm-hmm. So for them, it's probably easy transition. I don't know if
a lot of Vegas. I think a couple of Vegas hotels are in it. Not a lot, but a couple of Vegas hotels doing that too.
Does Paris? Who's going to rub down Paris Hilton? When's that going to happen? So we going to do that? No. Okay.
Pass.
Hey,
I will pass.
It would take a lot more than
sanitizer. This conversation. Let's move on.
Nicole, you got a recommendal?
My recommendal.
What do you got?
All right. Putting it into your chat.
Okay.
I'll say that it's on Disney Plus.
All right. Here we go. I'm hitting play. Can't see it. Don't know what it is. Hopefully we got some.
Don't buy this tree, Foxy. You're borrowing at 9.5 with no fixed rate. Plus, moving into the most dangerous neighborhood in the country for someone of your type of species.
You're exaggerating, Patrick.
I'm sugarcoating it, man. This is Bogus, Bunce, and Bean, three of the meanest, nastiest, ugliest farmers in the history of this valley.
Really? Tell me about them.
All right. Walt Bogus is a chicken farmer, probably the most successful in the world. He weighs the same as a young rhinoceros.
Okay. I love that movie. Gosh dang it, I love that movie.
I recognized Bill Murray immediately, but it didn't. It took me until the music to say, "Oh, Wes Anderson has to be Fantastic Mr. Fox."
Yeah,
it is Fantastic Mr. Fox. It's streaming on Disney Plus right now. I've never seen this movie, so I had it was my first watch.
I'm jealous of you. I'm so jealous of this seeing it for the first time. I love that movie so much.
And it's a lot of fun.
No,
I mean, I guess people that love it really love it. I liked it. So I don't know if I would glow about it.
Yeah.
But
well, I am glowing about it. I love
you
that
can
movie.
glow about it,
Yeah.
but I still think it was fun. It's a little weird. It's a little off-putting, the animation style for me, though. Like it's like there's moments where you get a close-up of Fox and his teeth are like, and
Yeah, stop motion stuff with hair.
Yeah, it's
is
a little
kind of weird to
disturbing.
me.
Yeah.
I don't know why it is, but
I think he A, knows that, and B, aimed for that. Like he was this is such a Wes Anderson production top to bottom. And if you haven't seen Isle of Dogs yet, you have to see that next. Because
I heard that's not as good.
Oh my gosh, whoever told you that is smoking the crack 3 times a day.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I like
everybody
that more,
has
actually.
everybody has an opinion.
Most people like it more, yeah. Like I was gonna say, that thing is actually
interesting.
more highly thought of by general fans. But anyway,
You cussing me. That's a good
I love both these movies.
Yeah.
So much. Oh my gosh, I love them, and I'm glad you got to see
So
it.
yeah. Well, I think it just arrived at Disney Plus. It was in like the little scroller bar.
Yeah.
And I caught that. And I also caught a new TV show. Well, it's not a TV show. Whatever. It's a series. Whatever. I
like a TV
mentioned
show.
it to you last night about critical thinking for kids.
Oh, where?
And-
on Twitter? Was that what it was?
So when you think about fake news and how do you weed all that? I mean, Twitter's doing that. You were talking earlier about, saying, here's the facts, right?
Right.
So the Big Fib is a game show with the girl from Community. She's the host.
Yes.
I
Nicole
don't-
Yvette,
Yeah.
Yvette
Is that-
Nicole Brown.
Yeah, is that her?
Yeah.
And then also Reese, guy from Fly of the Conchords.
Oh, is Darby?
Darby, yes.
He's Darby?
He's Darby.
He's in it too.
Oh, I
So
love him.
it's a game show and it has a kid, and they have 2 experts, and they're trying to
Is he the
determine.
one? He's not the voice of the robot DJ thing
He
in there, is
is.
he? He
He's
is?
the one-
Oh,
he's
that
the voice of the robot, and I think
okay.
his
That
name
makes
is
me want to watch this more because I saw the still of this and I thought, yeah, this doesn't look like it's
Clive.
for me. Clive, okay.
I mean, it's goofy, but it's meant for kids. And the whole point is for kids to start thinking critically about the information that they are fed. So the first round is obviously it's silly. So they have somebody that's, like the first one, she was a wig stylist for bald eagles. And then they actually had an actual hairdresser who was a specialist in hair. And so the kids asking them questions and they're learning stuff as they go too. And then the second round is a much harder round. So like the first episode, they had 2 jellyfish experts. One was lying. One was truly a jellyfish expert.
Like to tell the truth for kids, basically, right?
Kinda, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So, and they have like fun little clips, and we had a fun time watching it. And I thought I'd throw a recommendation out there for it because it was. I like that they're trying to have kids think critically about information.
That's good.
So-
It feels rare today that people use that skill very often. I know that there are plenty who do, and you just don't hear them because nobody, people like that aren't screaming on social media. But yeah, anything we can do to help kids have better critical thinking skills.
I watched it with Mateo, and I'm like, well, so why do you think? Because as we were watching, I'm like, why do you think she's lying? Why do you think she's not the jellyfish expert? So it's meant to be kind of an interactive thing that you ask them why they think something. So
There you go. I like it.
So for someone just asked Bobby, my recommendal was The Fantastic Mr. Fox and The Big Fib, both on Disney Plus.
Yep. Disney
Lots of adjectives
Plus.
in your recommendals
Yes. You're not wrong. And also, Brian had 2. Say those again, Brian.
Run and Dispatches from Elsewhere. Run on
Nice.
HBO, Dispatches from Elsewhere on AMC.
And mine was the controversial choice of watching Contagion.
Where is that? Is that HBO?
HBO. Yeah.
HBO.
Yep. I was happy to find it there because it hasn't been streaming anywhere that I could find. All you can get is Outbreak, and that thing sucks. Outbreak's dumb.
That's all I think about though.
I get those two
With the
confused.
monkey.
They're the Deep Impact Armageddon of the pandemic world.
Yeah, but they're
And
like
the-
20
Like,
years
I can't remember
apart.
which one is.
They're like 20 years apart. They're like,
Are they really that far apart?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Outbreak is old, like 90s
Well,
old.
wasn't Can't Buy Me Love, McDreamy. He
Yeah.
was in it, but his career had tanked, and he'd come back as a small part in that movie.
In
What the hell is his
Contagion
name?
or in
What's his name? No, in Outbreak.
Oh,
in
He-
Outbreak?
Not
He
the-
was one that he stole the monkey.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Morgan
Before
Freeman.
he was on Grey's Anatomy.
Cuba Gooding Jr., Donald Sutherland,
No.
Patrick Dempsey,
Oh.
Susan Lee
Wait,
Hoffman.
Dempsey, Patrick Dempsey.
Patrick
Oh.
Dempsey.
Got it before Free Rangers said it, by the way.
Nice.
There you go.
Free Rangers likes a little Patrick
But yeah,
Dempsey.
and he dies like instantly in that movie.
Well, he got the Ebola there, is what he got.
Right. 12 Monkeys would be a good one to watch right now.
Oh,
That's
12
good.
Monkeys is great. I love 12
Good to
Monkeys.
watch anytime, but know your doses. Know your doses.
Probably
What do they give you, Haldol?
one or two, maybe top 2 performances by Brad Pitt ever. It's so good.
Mhm.
So worth seeing. All right. Well, there you go.
All
Hey,
right.
and
There
if you
you
didn't remember any of that we just said, all you got to do is follow Nicole on Twitter, and she'll tell you again. So Nicole Spag on Twitter. We'd recommend doing that. She's a good follow no matter what you're thinking. And Nicole, we're really glad to see you today. Have a fantastic day.
You too.
Bye now.
Bye.
We didn't hear from kids or Dougie or anything today.
No, I did see a brother or a Mark walk in the background, walk behind her in the background. That's it.
Could be Mark's brother even. Somebody works there with them now, right? Like works there with
It's
Mark.
Mark's brother or Nicole's brother.
Like as a regular, like a full-time.
He's
Wind
he's a
whisperer.
series regular.
He's a series regular.
Yeah.
Ted Danson, everybody.
He's a regular whisperer.
All right, couple quick things before we go. Got a message here from Lockvine, who said, "Holy moly, Brian is right. I just have to jump in favor of Holy Moly. It's such a great, fun show. Season 2 is fantastic. They really stepped up the Wipeout aspect of the show. It is totally a show you can also just listen to while working on something else and glance over at the announcers that says something that merits a look. So I don't think you need to dedicate any time. Just watch it. So there you go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very good.
Well, good job, Brian. Holy moly. A good recommendation.
Holy moly. There you go.
Then we got one from Very Understated who says on our what? Oh, on our
who should host stage.
There you go.
stuff at BlizzCon.
Because we were talking about who'd be a good host and everybody who got crap when they hosted and that sort of thing. This person says, I think Morgan Webb would do really well as a BlizzCon host. She's knowledgeable, really pretty, charismatic, and funny as can be. I would agree that Morgan Webb would be perfect. The problem is Morgan Webb now works in a very heavy capacity for Bonfire Games, who is a spin-off of Blizzard. That's Rob Pardo's group. When he left, he went and started Bonfire, took a bunch of people from Blizzard and started it, and hired her to be kind of head of marketing PR. I'm not sure what her total job thing is there. I doubt very highly that given that position, she would ever be asked to be on stage at BlizzCon. But all of that being not the case, she would be awesome. She'd be great. Everyone loves Morgan Webb. She's very nice.
It's interesting. I mean, I see what you mean, but I'm trying to figure out what the conflict of interest would be of having her host BlizzCon, which is a Blizzard event, working in a company that's connected to Blizzard.
No. They're not connected to Blizzard. Bonfire is a hardcore competitor of Blizzard.
Oh, competitor. Oh, from when Rob. Okay, I got you.
Because when he left, he kifed a bunch of Blizzard people. This was not
So
a
when
happy
they,
day. when
Okay,
this
they
happened.
left and separated from Blizzard as opposed to being a. Okay.
Yeah, he was basically. How do I put this? Rob Pardo was in a position where he was either going to be fired or he was going to have to resign. He resigned. He took a ton of money with him. For a year, he didn't say anything because he was under a non-disclosure agreement to not say anything after the first year. And then after that happened, hired a bunch of talent from Blizzard and other places, started Bonfire Games. And we still don't know what they're making. They haven't announced the game or anything, so we don't know.
Okay.
But she works over there now. That would absolutely be a conflict of interest if she did stuff for Blizzard.
Yeah, sounds like it would. Okay, gotcha. Now I follow you.
It makes a sense.
Yeah.
If you want to send a message like these two did, they went to the website and just used the form that's on the page. It's over at frogpants.com/TMS, or if you'd like the good old-fashioned email way, you can do that as well. themorningstream@gmail.com. It's going to do it for us. We're going to go now.
Okay.
Do you have a song, though, that we could do?
Yeah, did you want to tell people I guess you talked about that when you said where they could go to the website. All right,
Yeah,
fine.
go to frogpants.com/TMS. Or, Patreon. That's good too. Patreon.com/TMS.
Yeah,
All
I'm
that
just so
stuff.
used to you like going through all this stuff right here that I
Just shaking it up, changing it around. a little.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know. People know. All right, so I do have a song. This is one that I actually for today's episode of Coverville with Outkast, I have a ton of covers of Hey Ya or Hey Ya or however you want to pronounce it. By the way, which is the saddest happy song ever written. It sounds like it's a happy song, but when you look at the lyrics, it's not a happy song. It's far from it. But this was one of the versions that I was considering playing, and I had to make a choice between two versions. I decided I'll keep this one for Coverville because it fits the rest of the content of the show, and then I'll play this other one on TMS today. The connection is that the vocals on it come from Sam Lloyd, who just passed away at the end of last month, but you know him as the guy from Scrubs, Ted,
yeah.
lawyer Ted on Scrubs. He's also the nephew of Christopher Lloyd,